Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I wanted to talk about an extremely interesting topic for me that I wanted to talk about for a very long time, and that's 10 lessons that Middle East taught me. For you guys who don't know, maybe you don't follow me on Instagram, then you should go and follow. I live in Doha, Qatar, which is a conservative Muslim country. I really love it. Disclaimer, that's my favorite country ever, where I would like to spend my life. But today I want to talk about what I learned here as a foreigner in terms of fashion. Obviously, coming to a conservative Muslim state after Europe, it was a lot of adjustment because I needed to adjust my whole wardrobe, my whole fashion style and sense to fit in, because universities where I'm still studying in an institute doing my masters, and before I was studying bachelor's here as well, so we were obliged to wear clothes that would cover our elbows and knees, and also you gotta cover those parts if you go to governmental institution or to work, wherever you work. So it brings us to our first point, which is modesty. Modesty is the key. Living here, you kind of learn that being modest doesn't mean to limit yourself. It means just not showing yourself too much. I don't know if that makes sense, but obviously before coming here I had a lot of short skirts, mini skirts, shorts, which I had to give up, but it was not that pressure of a country. I have a lot of friends who still wear those pieces. Just I realized that for my inner peace and my inner style sense, those pieces were never good looking on me particularly. I don't have body for them, and I was just not feeling comfortable wearing them. And even when I go back to Europe, I don't wear those pieces anymore. Number 2 is investing in accessories like jewelry, bags and shoes, because traditional clothing here is black abaya, which is like black cloak, and hijab, like a scarf wearing on a hat. All of them are black, so you don't really have much options to show off your style. So most money are invested here in jewelry, handbags and shoes, which I really like, to be fair, because being in Europe I never thought about getting really expensive designer pieces, because it was just not popular in there, and there was more of like Scandinavian kind of vibe style that I wanted to be aligned with. But coming here I got a couple of really valuable pieces which are timeless for me personally. For example, this little Burberry bag or Gucci flash track sneakers, which are a controversial piece. We'll get to that later. Third one is wearing heels. I've never worn heels going just to university or internship in Europe before, because that is uncomfortable. And if you're a teenager or in your early 20s like me, don't have a car, have to move a lot, heels are not the best option, definitely. But what is the case here is that you don't really walk much. There are not many places where you can just walk around, or you cannot get from the point A to the point B by just walking, because everything is very far away, and you just don't want to do that, because Qatar is basically a big construction site preparing to 2022. So the option that we use here is Uber. Yes, we do have metro, but you still need to get Uber to go to metro and Uber to go from metro. So wearing heels is not a problem here just because you basically don't move much. Tip number 4 is glitter. Glitter is never too much here because you don't really show yourself if you're wearing traditional clothing, for example, abaya, but you can show a bit of your style and extraordinary taste if you're wearing glittery eyeshadows or glittery jewelry, or my favorite one, glittery heels. I could never expect to see that many glittery heels in such a modest and reserved, as it seems, country, but believe me, if you come here, just pay attention to people's shoes. That's brilliant, like literally covered in brilliance. Next tip is layering. And I know that layering is a thing everywhere in the world, but it was not personally for me. I would prefer to wear a t-shirt when it's warm, a hoodie when it's cold. But coming here taught me to layer clothes all the time, because if it is 40 degrees outside, it is like 20 or below 20 inside, so you gotta keep your layers on so you can take them off whenever you want them on, whenever you need. But number 6, coming from that, is long sleeves. If you're wearing long sleeves, scorching outside, that's still a lot better for you, and you feel a lot better because long sleeves, I'm not sure how these mechanics work, but they store cold air inside, and the more the looser clothes are, the better it is in terms of thermal control. It covers your elbows so you don't have to worry about showing too much of a skin. Next point is my favorite, abaya. So abaya is a traditional, as I mentioned, like kinda cloak that you put on your clothes to not show too much of your body. And I was strongly against that when it first came. I was like, why everyone's wearing the same? That like looks so depressing. And nowadays I even do that. And especially when I was doing my bachelor's, I had to wake up at 6 or 6:30 to get to uni by 8, so I had to get ready and have my breakfast in that time. And you know what, not all the mornings were perfect waking up at 6 o'clock. Absolutely not. There were a lot of times when I would wake up at like 7:30 and only 30 minutes to get breakfast, get ready, get to uni. And what I would do, just put a abaya on my PJs. That's it. That's the secret. Thank you for listening. But I definitely enjoyed that because it took 0 efforts to get ready to university, and no one would suspect anything. You're done. That's such a life hack. One of my favorite tips is relaxing. You don't have to be that concentrated about style and clothes you wear here, even though you gotta think what parts of body you show. But in general, it is such a mix of different cultures here in Qatar that you can wear whatever you want. You want to wear all black? Do that. You'll find people who dress the same. You want to wear all colorful and bright? Yes, do that. We have a lot of people dressing like that. Stop thinking that much about clothes. You just start thinking about what you really want. Next topic is wearing the same clothes every day. When you see those people men are wearing black thobes every day, women are wearing white thobes every day, women are wearing black abayas all the time, but you still can be yourself. You still can find ways to self-expression, and even your facial features, the way you behave yourself, tells everything about you. You don't concentrate that much on clothing when you meet people for the first time, for example. And it brings me to my last one and favorite. It's being comfortable with yourself, because clothes don't choose you, you choose clothes. And you can wear what suits your personality the best. You can be what you want, dress the way you want, and no one will tell you anything. There is not like really culture here of criticizing what people wear, because it is such a mix of everything going on here. The last tip I wish all of you could get and apply for yourself, because clothes are just an instrument for self-expression, but it is not who you are, and they absolutely don't define you. That was it for today. That's everything that I wanted to talk about. I hope that you enjoyed that video. If you did, put the thumbs up. If you have any tips from the ways of dressing, the ways of clothing in your countries, maybe you live in Middle East, maybe you live in Asia, in Europe, wherever, share them with us in the comment box down below.